Our attitude to regional distinctiveness is something that we approach on a global basis. So, wherever we design a hotel, we like to understand the neighborhood story, if you like, and what makes that location, not just that city, maybe that location within that city, special and particular and unique. And we try and learn from that in developing the architecture and interior design to suit. That way, the hotel is a microcosm, if you like, of the place in which it sits. Now, that is it has to be interpreted in a more sophisticated way. I mean, I was in Cairo recently and stayed in a hotel where there was a pyramid and an obelisk and all these sort of emulations of history in a very literal sense. I think that design is something that takes those influences and makes subtle references to them in wallpaper design, in some of the spatial arrangements, and so it's a more subtle but underlying theme within every location that makes that particular hotel special. I think that guest experience is very much a service driven element of what the hotel offers. And so, what I would say is that what we try to do is make the back of house environment great so that you get the best quality and the best service from uh, employees that are well looked after, well kept, and will therefore have a completely positive attitude to how they deal with the customer, because it's the aspect of hotels that makes the difference, and that will be our contribution, if you like, to enhancing the and leaving memorable memories for guests. It is all about local, local, local. And the most sustainable approach to any development is to source materials and technologies and fabrics, all of those things as local as possible. Now, over the many years in the past, products for hotels have come from all around the world. I discovered in COVID when we were doing a particular project that there was a holdup. There was a holdup because marble for the facade, which was being mined in Portugal, which was relatively close to the location in question, was then being sent to China to be laminated onto a backing to help make the facade. Now, that sort of thing is insane. So, we now spend a lot of time making sure that what we source in terms of materials are as local as possible to the particular project, and the practices of sending materials halfway across the globe to send back are actually not permitted. So we interrogate all the suppliers, we interrogate all of the um, products, and we want to use as many local products as possible. Now, I recognize that in parts of the world and parts of Africa, you don't necessarily have a manufacturing plant for taps or whatever the case may be, but we will go out of our way to make sure that we choose something that is as local as possible. The tangible benefits are obvious. We're not wasting carbon sending products all over the world, and we're also enhancing manufacturing and supply of labor locally rather than to the benefit of some foreign country. I think there are generally two types of guests. There are guests who are locals to that particular country or that particular place, and there are international tourists. Now, clearly, international tourists are less interested in just having a kind of a global design in response to the location. They really do want to feel that they are in that particular place and that the designs um, reflect that particular place and different aspects of that culture. Locals sometimes prefer to think that they're staying in a hotel that has influences from abroad that makes them feel like they're in Miami or whatever the case might be. Um, I guess it's finding a balance between those two. So, providing sophisticated facilities, but at the same time reflecting on local materials, local art, local craft, basket work, whatever the case may be. And um, that, I think, is part of the whole principle of local, 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 which was referred to in terms of the sustainability. It also refers to the design distinctiveness that will make that hotel unique to that particular place. And so we try as best possible to understand some of the um, artwork features, local produce, local materials to make the hotel belong where it is located. And generally think that tourists, guests from local and international appreciate that. I would say that as hotel specialists, we like to think of ourselves as the forefront of new ideas in respect of hotels. And we put those into play on all the projects that we work on. And that's as best we can in terms of future proofing. I think one of the biggest changes in the last decade has probably been the fact that hotels are much more embedded within their location from a point of view of interacting with outside local people as well as guests staying in the hotel. So, for example, the hotel lobby that used to be what I would refer to as a waiting room and something akin to a furniture warehouse with empty sofas has now evolved into a place where people from outside are attracted to come in as much as people with staying in the hotel are attracted to use it. And that creates a more dynamic space. And following, obviously, the COVID epidemic, hotels have morphed into interesting places where people will come and work, set up, and interact. And that interface with the local population is what makes a hotel very dynamic. I mean, hotels are, the sort of places that trade 24 hours. So when the local dry cleaner up the road closes shop, why not bring the stuff that hasn't been collected into the hotel lobby for his customers to pick up? And that interaction between the hotel and the community that surrounds it is actually what I think makes the hotel future-proofed. Because as that community changes, as those demands and needs and products change, so too the hotel will change and adapt to that. So providing flexible space and facilities also, leisure facilities that can be used by the community as much as the hotel. Although there's obviously a charge in the same way as the hotel will make revenue from selling F&B to co-workers in the lobby or extended lobby areas. So I think that, if you like, allows the hotel to keep growing, to keep interacting and be future-proofed. At the same time, as I said, we're like to think of ourselves as specialists in the hospitality world, and we're always exploring new thinking and keeping in touch with new ideas and implementing them on projects. So this is the best way to be future ready.